Absolutely not. This is not the same video, but I do owe you guys an apology because I missed this. I missed this level of cope that you're about to hear in this video. And so we already covered the fact that the doctor herself, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, exposed that she's been dealing with the same man for the past 5 years, getting led on, playing games. They've been going back and forth, only to find out that in this section we're about to listen to here, she's had an IUD. You guys might be saying, Chisha, that's too personal. Why? She's telling us this. She's sharing this on a public platform. But that's not what I want to focus on here. The level of cope you're about to hear of her pretty much trying to justify why she's 42, hasn't found a husband yet, and is childless is incredible. I mean, she pretty much makes this whole thing sound like it was just all part of my big plan to end up 42 and unmarried. Don't believe me? Check it out for yourself. Let's get it.
When I decide at 42 to be a mother.
This is the year?
Yeah, it is.
You pregnant?
I was like, did we get an exclusive?
You said
no, I took my IUD out about a month ago so that I can be ready to do it.
Congrats. I
What
love
is that,
that.
the eggs?
The IUD is like,
You took the eggs out and freeze them?
no, the
That's not
IUD
that?
is a birth control method that you put inside of your.
I wish I had a pillow.
Oh,
I
I
would
don't
launch you right at your head.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know. I mean, I know.
The
I didn't-
eggs is crazy, but
Well,
no.
you freeze the eggs.
Yeah, you do that, but
I know.
that's not
I didn't know
what
if that was
the
that
IUD
what it's called.
No,
I
no.
know.
The IUD is a little T
He's like, you can have kids?
that looks like this. It's smaller than this. It goes inside the woman's cervix to stop the sperm from fertilizing the egg. So it goes inside.
You took that out, you saying?
I had my doctor take it out so that I no longer have birth control contraceptive inside of me.
That's different.
So for those of you who are sitting down going, well, Chisha, just because she had the IUD doesn't mean that she was being sexually active. She gave you the definition right there. It stops the sperm from reaching the egg. So if that's the goal, why would there be a need to stop sperm if there's no sperm going inside you? Come on. Follow me here, people. Let's talk about the sponsor of this channel, fathershaverights.com. Engaged and soon to be married men, hiring the wrong lawyer can leave you with an overpriced, unenforceable prenup. Avoid the trap. Inside my step-by-step guide at fathershaverights.com, renowned attorneys James Sexton and the lead attorney lay out the exact questions to ask, red flags to spot, and proven steps to hiring the perfect prenup lawyer. The guide itself costs only a couple of coffee dates, far less than a single billable hour. Hit the link pinned to the top of the comment section, lock in your guide, and join the hundreds of men securing their marriages the right way.
I never heard of that
I
one.
took it out so that I can get pregnant now.
I never heard of that one.
I never had one, but it's a thing for sure.
No, I never heard of that one,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is at 42, when I get pregnant,
Which is this year.
right? Manifest it with me, Paul. I love you.
Oh,
When
geez.
I get pregnant, I, at 42,
Yeah.
am not leaving my husband. Hold on. Because I'm making a commitment, not just to him, but to these babies, that we will have two people in this house that can tell you their narrative, their story, and you can choose who you want to listen to. You can choose whose story you want to hear. But I want to make sure that I give you everything that I can, which means if I have to sacrifice a little bit in that household to stay in it, if I got to have meetings with daddy to say, listen, we may not want to be here, but we made a commitment to be here. So what we got to do to make sure we healthy so that the family's healthy. But let me tell you why I say age is important in wisdom.
Okay, here we go.
In my 20s and even in my 30s, I would have been in my feelings because emotions don't cause problems, feelings do. And I would have acted out of feeling and not commitment, because commitment's not a feeling. It's you doing what you said you was going to do regardless of how you feel. At 42, I can commit. That's that obedience to my promised land. At 20, in my 20s and 30s, guess what? I'd have threw the whole talent and said, you know what? Me and them kids going to be good because I do well. I'm a doctor. I got to support a family and friends. Nigga, we can co-parent.
Come on.
But that's in your 20s and 30s. This is why I'm saying to a person like yourself and other people watching, men and women who have already made those decisions, and they end up being bad decisions, not mistakes, because kids are not mistakes, but bad decisions in the way that you happen to, create your kids' dynamic you put them in. At 42, I understand the power of commitment and sacrifice. At 23, I understood the power of how I feel. That's the difference, Paul. At 23, we're going to tear this house up. We ain't tripping off these kids. We're going to tear this house up.
Now, a lot of you guys didn't like, a lot of you guys thought it was funny. Some of you guys didn't like that I called her Dr. Seuss or likened her to Dr. Seuss. As far as the doctor legitimacy goes, I told you guys, to me, it's all a stage name, but this is what I talk about right here. For people who are like, why don't people respect what she has to say? No proof or experience. If she was at least divorced, and I really do mean that, there are people who've gone through marriage, and they'll tell you, okay, these are the mistakes I made. This is what I wish I did differently. She's also giving very horrible advice here. She says the difference is that in my 20s and 30s, I was too emotional. I don't think that's a difference. I think that was a problem. You can mature in your 20s and 30s. You don't have to wait till you're in your 40s to finally mature. Now, I understand that happens for some people, but the way that she's sharing this, it's sort of like this is the best way to approach marriage and relationships. Never mind the fact that now she has to rely on manifestation to have children because she is at a place where you are not as fertile as you were in your 20s. Should have been more mature. You shouldn't want to argue. You shouldn't want to turn up. Instead, you should think to yourself, how can we work through conflict when I'm young? You get it?
Facts.
And we'll figure it out later. You know we're going to do that. Call the police. Neighbors, I don't care. What you say? Shit. Come pick these kids up real quick. It's a problem.
Facts.
You know that. But at 42, we giving each other that look that goes, the kids is in this. The kids is, we agree.
Yeah.
Hold on. Once we put little Paul to sleep at night, now what the fuck was you talking about?
Yeah.
Then we can have our little rounds, but we also are standing on a square that we both drew. That's called commitment. And we are not going to guarantee each other no perfect marriage. We're not going to guarantee that we even like each other sometimes. But what we are going to commit to and guarantee, we ain't going no fuck. That's one thing that we're supposed to guarantee is that I don't know how life is going to life, but can you promise to be in this life when it life's with me?
Yeah.
And you can laugh if you want to because he got a problem with vulnerability. See? You got a problem with
No, he's laughing because it sounds ridiculous.
commitment.
Everything I'm taking everything
Paul,
that you said. I'm hearing
Paul,
it.
at
I
20
listen
and 30,
well.
you end up in the situation you're in because people respond from what they feel, not from what they committed to. And if people would take their time getting a sense of self, discovering who the hell they are, so they can know who the heck they got to choose, they will end up in better situations, and so will their offsprings as well.
So here's the question, right? This is where things get really, really, really confusing is you did that. Where did you end up? And of course, we know this now leads to the end of the podcast where he asks, where is your man? And she starts beatboxing, right?
And then we have the real wealth, which is family. And then we can go buy some damn real estate and take the vacations you talking about taking. But until then, we have to focus on the stuff that really is the nucleus, the backbone of the substance. And I'm going to sip to that. See, he got commitment problems. He laughing and stuff.
No. You good. You real good. Because all right, so this is how I interpreted what you just said.
Let's go.
So at 23, 30, y'all gonna tear the room up, argue, you out of there.
Both
whatever.
of us, not just me, everybody.
Yeah,
you know we do that.
So at 23 and 30, them options you had a lot more options. Now at 42, them options then slimmed up. So yeah, of course you ain't going nowhere.
That ain't it. Now,
Yes, it is it. Yes, it is it. Listen, guys, the cope and delusion is crazy right about here.
now you know what?
No, that's what you just said.
No, that's not what I said.
There's
but
so many
that's not what I
words.
said.
She
but
said, I ain't going nowhere
That's
at
not what I
42.
said, but he's making a good point. For some people who get of age,
Yeah. She
their
wanted to
options
put
can
up with
become
more.
can become slim. But I can say this. It's usually the man who gets up in age and he realizes that his options have become slim.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop.
So now he wants to marry after he's already created broken homes, broken houses, baby mamas, have multiple kids.
Ooh.
Hold on. And he don't got his contract no more. So the money looking a little funny.
Ooh.
So he got to make sure that he cashes out while he can and get him the closest thing to what he considers a modern day baddie, who is nowhere in comparison to the old school baddies he used to be able to get when he was in his prime. Now, for women who are educated, women who are still beautiful, women who are still keeping themselves
That's
up
a good one.
physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, they just get better with time.
If you're so much better with time, then where is your husband? Guys, we are living in this. Is this a simulation? Like, this is crazy. The actual science goes against what this woman is saying. As soon as you hit 30, attention from men drops. I've showed the studies here many, many times here on this platform. You can go search it. We had a data analyst come on, and she explained the whole thing with charts. The charts that they can't even show anymore because the dating companies started to piss a lot of women off, because when reality is served in a nice cup like this one. By the way, I know some of you guys got your mug, so shout out to you. I appreciate the support. When it's served, it's bitter.
And they become a demand, not just only for older men, but for the younger men. And so the women who keep themselves up in that capacity actually become optioned, actually end up having more of abundance of options than they did when they were young.
These are lies. These are actual lies.
And there are also the women that the men who are their age, like my age, no, they can't obtain, let alone sustain. And so they will stay in their lane. They will stay in their lane because they understand, hold on, she was the woman I wanted when I was younger and couldn't obtain. I damn sure can't do it now that she has become cooked versus still meat that's marinated in the freezer. And that's the truth of it. And if women understood their value.
No. You're actually cooked. Like that's the actual, that's the way to use that word.
Value, right? As long as they just upkeep their value.
Yes.
Right? Which is internal and external. Then they would stop opting out early on. They would realize, no, my options start to build and expand as I build and expand.
I agree.
And I think men as well. I feel like if men understood their value, then they would not be raw dogging. They would not be sharing their semen with just any women. If they understood their value.
Come on.
Those are things that they would double think and triple think.
This is the woman with the IUD telling you to stop raw dogging. I want you to really think about that. With that being said, it's very obvious here that this woman is out of touch. Trust and believe a woman's whose options for the men that she wants, and we know that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant wants to be married. A woman who actually has those options would already be married. She wouldn't be trying to manifest that husband. She wouldn't be on camera like we've reported her many times, looking at the camera and saying, where are you, man? Why are you scared to shoot your shot? And it's not just her, right? There are a bunch of just delusional, out of touch chicks that we see over and over again. You think the content would stop. You would think at some point they would say, you know, we're not making sense out here. But no, they just continue supplying never ending, bottomless content and lessons for those people, of course, want to learn, particularly if you're a chick. This is just crazy.
So, and another thing, I said, I was talking to a friend earlier and I said, you know, the young guy that I was dating for 5 years off and on, I said he had no kids. He was young, very successful, you know, no, in his field. I said, and what I loved most about him was he showed his responsibility, because in our intimate settings, I never, ever one time had to say, can you put a rubber on? Can you put on a contraceptive? I never had to say that, because in his mind, he didn't want to procreate before marriage. He didn't want to be raw dogging. He didn't want to, even though we might have had 4 or 5 years together and he was in love with me, he was being responsible. And that was a strong act of self-love. Because what he was saying is that, wait, it's not just you know your value, Shy, and you want me to cover up, not just because babies, but obviously STDs, but I know my value as a man.
Yeah, listen, she was trying to clean up right there. If you caught it, did you catch it? She's trying to clean up. She realized I'm talking about raw dogging and I talked about taking out an IUD. Let me fix it. So he always used, this is her way of saying he always used a condom. This is another part of the video that I thought was very interesting. Let's check it out. So this was actually earlier in the conversation.
Absolutely.
And so this is why I always say to people, I'm 42 and I'm not married with any kids yet. I'm ready now. But I wanted to purposely wait till I was educated, until I had my career. I wanted to wait until I was economically stable enough to provide a life for my children and choose a man from not a perfect place, but a healthy place. So that I can say I'm not only choosing a husband, but I'm choosing a father for my kids before I even, procreate with this man. A lot of folks who do marriage early are choosing codependently a partner who can satisfy their trauma in that space.
Ooh.
And she's like, people should be more like me here without a man and waiting till they're 42. How do people not see that this is the end result of putting your career first before you actually getting a husband? How do they not see that?
And they trauma bond. And after that trauma's healed or that trauma shifts, those conditions are gone. So guess what's also gone? The bond. Because if the trauma changes, which is what's the glue to the bond, then the bond has to change. So now we say we outgrew each other. No, y'all never were with each other. You were with each other's traumas.
Ooh.
You don't even know this man.
Ooh.
She needs to chill out with that. She needs to chill out.
Damn.
Wait a minute.
No.
So
Okay, go ahead.
Go for it, Paul.
Oof. Like, what are you talking about? I mean, I get it, but there's a whole lot of nothing being said.
you said sorry.
What is
So you still want to get married and you still want kids?
What's so funny about that?
No, I'm just saying, like, I feel
You said,
like
what's so
no,
funny?
I just feel
Yeah,
like
why was you laughing?
Hey, I didn't know that Paul Pierce was on one this whole interview. I'm sorry, guys. That's why I said I owe you guys an apology. I didn't actually watch the whole thing. I didn't know this was his disposition of him being like, every time she talked, That's hilarious.
no. This is not a not. This is just like, I feel like when you get older, like, this is the time to enjoy more life. This is not the time to be like, you should be looking to travel the world, like see the world, because we on the back nine. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the back nine.
You are, not me. Papa, you, not me.
I'll take that.
I'm still
on the
auntie.
Yeah, you auntie.
I'm still
But I just
auntie.
feel like once the 40s hit,
Stop it.
it should be like, man, you know what? That's all good, because, like, kids take up a lot of time, and kids will redirect the relationship.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, and I just feel like for me, like, this is the thing. I fell in love with what I was in love with the situation, how they were before the kid. And the dynamic of the kid, because you don't have no script for this. When the kid comes, the whole dynamic of the relationship changed now.
Especially
That's
for
true.
the man. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially for the man.
Because now you go, and it's funny because I look in public relationships, like how a lot of like actors or actresses, like, they divorce within the first few years of having
you know
kids.
why, right? Paul, you cook again, I'm about to put your ass back on the grill. What you cooking? Because
She know what I'm talking about.
Marriage's divorce happens within the first year
Of kids.
of birth.
Yeah.
Within the first year.
Yeah.
That's when divorce happens. And if the folks are not married, that's when separation or breakup happens within the first year of that
And I'll
child.
tell you why too.
That is just not true. It's not a true stat. I don't even have to back that up. You guys can go look it up for yourself. Divorces don't happen within the first year of pregnancy. At least that's what I got from what she was saying here.
Go for it, yeah.
Because, like, you fall in love, you meet a girl or you meet a guy, you fall in love with, like, damn, I love that, how we are right now. We travel, it's sex every day and glazing in your eyes, and we're going here, we're going there, we're going there. So now the pregnancy comes. Those things stop.
Stay there. The pregnancy comes. What does that mean for the man's position in that relationship? Explain that to us as a man.
As a man, you fell in love with what made you fell in love with. Like, we going here, we going there. It's spontaneous.
The spontaneity of doing things, the get up and go. My go-to, my road dog.
My man, let's go. Like, wake up, go, boom, do this. And then all that just stops. And then it's just like, damn, we ain't even doing the same stuff. But, like, it changes the whole dynamic. And it's just like, damn, now you get so deep into pregnancy, now the sex stops. And that stops for a minute, like a minute. And that's what and that the sex ain't what made you fall in love. It's just the whole friendship, all of this. And like, you got to go
but
through
the
it.
sex is a part of the expression of love.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real, because
Yeah.
when we're talking about casual sex, then sex is an act for pleasure. But when we're talking about relationship, marital sex, where like you're saying, we love each other, you know, you might go to my ace, boom.
Yeah.
That sex is a part of the expression of love now. It satisfies a duality of, okay, physically, yeah, we may orgasm, but emotionally and spiritually, right? This is a way for us to be in tune and connect and be in our space and get our vibe and be in ecstasy together and take ourselves like into an outer body experience sexually. If you're doing it in the way that's not casual and you're really plugged into the person.
So she knows how to do it. She knows how to do it.
That's the experience. So you get more than a internal orgasm. You get that external orgasm, and now you have a duality of what you're talking about, that connection that fuses people.
Okay, I've had enough. Internal orgasm, an external orgasm. I see why this whole podcast has ended up with them asking, listen, where's your man? Because that's the question, right? And until then, I just think all this babble is just that babble. Curious to know what you guys think. Leave your comments down below. I will say this, final thoughts. Things are different when you actually go through them. And I understood this. I understood this before I got married, but I don't think I understood that to the degree that I should have. What do I mean? You can sit there and talk about how you expect the dynamics to go in your future marriage. You expect somebody to be a certain way when it comes to patience, expectations, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, life is unpredictable. People go through things that you will never predict that they will go through. And in the end, you just need two people who are committed to seeing that marriage through and who hopefully aligns with you when it comes to foundational values. What have we talked about in the past? How that person defines marriage, right? What is marriage to them? If they're talking about partnerships and they're talking about they don't want to be oppressed and have a man be the head of the household, obviously that's not the chick that men who value marriage in our modern day should be trying to marry. It's probably not going to work out for you if the person defines a marriage differently. But once that's there, the foundational values, and you move over to other things like personal values, where do you want to live? And where do you see yourself within the next 5 years? So on and so forth. At that point, it's just you two being dedicated to seeing that marriage through no matter what. And those shots of espresso come quick. At least they did for me, right? You may think, I'm going to do this way and do that way, but you don't know how life's going to play out. I'll give you guys a real example here. On my other channel, this might be a rant with Chisha Zed, I released a video where I was talking about the struggle of trying to figure out how to allocate time with everything I wanted to do, spending time with my son, spending time with family, all things that I never thought I would struggle with because I didn't realize how much I would actually enjoy spending time with my son. Almost to the point where, there are times when like, okay, I don't want to be working right now. I want to be spending time with my son. And you build that bond and you're like, wow, this is a real sacrifice I'm making here. And I don't want to miss crucial moments, but I don't want to get off that grind because as men, you got to stay focused. We got to keep pushing. You can make all the perfect plans you want, especially when it comes to marriage and something that involves somebody else. At the end of the day, life will life. And the question is, are you both ready to commit till death do you part? Hey guys, as always, I appreciate you checking out yet another episode of the Coffee Pod. To my currently engaged or soon to be married men, if you need a prenup and would like a guide that shows you how to get a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement, hit the link into the top of the comment section and access your guide at fathershaverights.com today.